Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we decided to make a trade for Kyle Kernkovic to kind of give our offense a little bit more solidity on the left-hand side. And he really didn't produce that well, but we still had a fairly decent season, finishing 47, 28, and 7. We actually had a better season than the Anaheim Ducks, but Anaheim won their division, so we are going to be playing them in round 1, and they also have home ice advantage, which is a little bit scary. They are also 4-6-0 in their last 10 games, and we're 6-3-1, so it kind of makes me a little bit worried that they're going to all of a sudden turn it on in the playoffs. But it should be a pretty interesting matchup. They technically have a better defensive core in the regular season than us. But technically, based on overall numbers, our defensive core actually looks better on paper. And then based on offensive numbers, technically our offense is a little bit worse than theirs. They have a 93, we have a 91. So should be interesting to see who ends up winning this first round matchup. Obviously, we've never played the Ducks before, but hopefully we can get on to round 2 because our team has really struggled the last few years to get out of the first round. Now, before we get into this first round matchup, I will show you guys their lineup again just in case you forget. But this is going to be a pre-recorded episode, as all playoff episodes pretty much, just because I like to get these ones done ahead of time, and that way if we go to the Stanley Cup Finals, for example, I could have like 2 weeks of videos done in a short span. So anyways, this is what the Anaheim Ducks look like. As you can see, they have a lot of veterans, but a very good top 6 in Gaudreau, Zegras, and Fiala, as well as Hughes, McTavish, and Marlowe. So very good top 6. Sucks that Jack Hughes is there because we could have traded for Jack Hughes. You guys wanted me to trade for Jack Hughes, but I didn't. And now he could potentially bite us in the ass. Who knows? Third line has Drieger, Appleton, and Garland. A very good third line. Drieger's a little bit of the weaker link on this third line, but Appleton and Garland, those guys should be technically in the top 6, so you can see why this team is as good as they are. And fourth line has Danner, Delandria, and Pearson, so that fourth line is pretty solid as well. And yeah, that center depth is actually kind of nasty. On the defensive front, you can see why they're solid as well. You have Lindgren and Drysdale, Myers and Fabro, and Korzak and Larson, so very veteran heavy on the blue line. Everybody is in their 30s almost on the defensive core except for Drysdale and Korzak. And then goalie-wise, they also have our former goaltender in Hugo Lennefeld, so this is going to be interesting to see if we could beat Lennefeld. He has not played a playoff game since we played in the playoffs in 2027 when he was our starting goaltender. And yeah, he was also the goalie that got us to a cup final back in 2025-26. He was really good that year, but we had to let him go the year afterwards because of the fact he just really didn't play that great at all in the playoffs, and he was kind of streaky. His numbers during the regular season were not great, I would say, with us, but he seems to be having some solid years as of late. So it should be interesting to see if we could beat our former goaltender. They also have Kevin Lankinen, and in depth-wise, they have Camano and Nudavara. So overall-wise, I don't really know who has the upper hand. Definitely they have better offensive depth than us, but we have better defensive depth, and in goaltending, I think we beat them. But Lennefeld could all of a sudden turn it on, so I'm not going to say that we technically have the better goaltending, even though we technically have a better overall in terms of goaltender. But anyways, let's get into this first round matchup and see if we can get our way out of this first round. It seems weird that we don't have home ice advantage, considering we technically were better in the standings than them. But like I said, the Anaheim Ducks won their division because the Pacific Division was a lot weaker than our division by a mile. But anyways, let's get into game number 1 and see if we could win some games on the road here. Technically, I feel like we should have home ice advantage, but it is what it is. First period, damn, we're down 1-0. That's not great. Trevor Zegras scores on Pettersson. Hopefully Pettersson can play a little bit better this year in the playoffs, because I think last year he really struggled. So if for some reason he's not playing that great, we could always try and put in Jones and see how Jones does instead. So it's 1-0 Anaheim after 1. The shots are 11-10 in favor of them, so pretty even first period for the most part. Second period and still 1-0 them. Damn, that's not good. It looks like Lennefeld is kind of holding his own in this game. We need our offense to get going as well, because last year I believe Shelley didn't score all the way till Game 7 in the first round when we got eliminated. So if we could get our top goal scorers like Shelley, for example, Sadikov, to start scoring goals, that would be really nice. Also Kernkovic, considering we traded for him. So let's see what happens here in the third period. We're down by 1, and the shots are 21-18. See if we can tie this one up, and Gaudreau makes it 2-0. That's not good. Marlowe makes it 3-0. I don't have any faith in this team in the playoffs anymore. After last, when we went to the Cup Finals, I was like, this team is going to be really good, but I don't really know what the problem is the last few years, if it's the lack of experience, the lack of veterans, or what. Because you think with our team being as good on paper as they look, that they would do better. But we're going to lose game 1, 3-0 as we get shut out by our former goaltender in Lenefelt. Shots were close in that game, so we got our chances, but Lenefelt was just good, and then obviously they scored on their chances. There's all the goals. Looks like mostly their top 6. And like any badly minus guys. A couple -2s, so it looks like our top guys were all minus, and obviously we do not want that to be the case. Farron actually had 5 shots on goal. Damn. It wasn't a bad performance from Pettersson, so I'm going to definitely keep him in, but we definitely need our top guns to start scoring, especially on a former goaltender like a Lenefelt. Usually in Lenefelt it's not consistent, so I'm really hoping that we could bounce back this next game. But I am going to make some changes already, I think, to our forward group. I am going to move Kernkovic back down. I'm going to move Lawrence back up just to get that chemistry going. What else do we want to do? Let's try move Farinacci to the top line, move Hayton down because Hayton wasn't fantastic in the season. I could try and move Hayton down to the 3rd line, but I really don't know if that's going to do anything. It's okay to keep it like that, I think. Defensively, I can't put Soderstrom up there because it's minus. Oh, wait a second. I don't really want to do that. I can't really do that. Yeah, I can't really do that. Heinola was terrible, but I'm going to move him up, maybe? Yeah, let's move Heinola up and move Tuukkanen down. Don't really like doing that, but I want to just kind of flip some stuff around and see if it helps out our team. We could always take out somebody on the 4th line and throw in Shishkinov if we lose multiple games, but I'm not going to make any drastic changes just yet because we only lost 1 game. If we could bounce back in this game, then it's going to be a brand new series. So let's see if we could tie the series up headed home, because I feel like still we should be having home ice advantage, but we don't. First period, we're down 2-0. We have not scored in 5 straight periods. Or 4 straight periods, my bad. But 2 goals on 7 shots. Pettersson's not been great so far this game. We might have to turn to Hunter Jones for next game. We have 12 shots after 1, but we have yet to score in this series. I don't know why Lenefeld's playing out of his mind right now. Because sometimes he plays good, but other times he's not really that great, like his last time he played in the playoffs with us. So Garland and Drysdale, of course, a former Arizona Coyote, scores, but we didn't have him in this series because obviously he was in Vancouver by then. Second period, 5-1. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, but my God, this team is terrible. Right now, at least. We made it 2-1 with a power play goal, but Marlowe scores, Hughes scores, and Garland score. And we only have 1 goal through 5 periods, and we've allowed 7 goals in our last 6 periods? 5 periods, yeah. We really need to start playing better defensively. And we need that offense to wake up. But my God, we're going to definitely lose this game too. I mean, we could still definitely win in home ice to get back in this series. But right now, it's not looking too good. I think I'm going to start also Hunter Jones for next game. Gallagher makes it 5-2. Good to see us at least scoring a couple goals, but we're giving up way too much. Yeah, Pettersson seems like he's not a playoff goalie at all. And we're going to lose 6-2 in Game 2, and we are trailing this series 2-0, headed home, which is not good. Chikrin from Agostino and Hayton, and Gallagher from LaRose and McGillis. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Pettersson out of the lineup for next game. I'm going to put in Jones as our starter, because that is unacceptable, allowing 9 goals in 2 games. I mean, the first game was okay, but that second game, terrible. Because now we're down 0-2 in the series, and we have to try and find a way to come back. Yeah, he's been terrible again. Because if we look at his playoff numbers from last year, he had an .899, which is not good. Yeah, he's not been a good playoff goalie since his rookie year, or whatever it was. Let's put Jones in as the starter. And let's make some drastic line changes. Move Shelley up to the top line. Reunite Agostino, Farinacci, Shelley, because that's always my favorite line to have together. And then, yeah, Hayton, Genther, and let's do Kernkovic. Some of these guys have been pretty quiet. Let's keep the rest of this the same, I guess. I'd like to get Shishkinov in, but I don't know if I should throw him in instead of somebody. You know what? I'm going to put him in instead of LaRose, I think. Actually, yeah, instead of LaRose, I think. Which might fluctuate the morale a little bit, but I need to get something going for this team. And yeah, Hunter Jones is going to be the starter for this next game. And if he wins, then he's going to keep in net until he loses, pretty much. So, let's see if we could win some games on home ice. See if we could get back in the series. We're down 0-2. And we have a risk of losing in the first round again, which would not be good. I would start losing my mind if that happened, because I literally had that same thing kind of happen last year in NHL with the Detroit Red Wings series, where I lost so much times in a row in like round 1 to Tampa Bay. And I couldn't get back to that Stanley Cup Finals until like late on. So, here we go. Game number 3. Let's see if we can win some home ice games to get back in the series. Come on, Hunter Jones. First period. We're up 2-1. Okay, I'll definitely take that. Farinacci, Lawrence. So good to see the top line score. And yeah, good to see Lawrence score as well. Felipe Myers has their goal. Shots are 13-12 in favor of us. It's a 2-1 game. Second period, 3-3. I don't like that. Chikrin made it 3-1 on the power play goal again. So our power play is at least converting. But Drieger and Garland tied the game up. So not a great late stage of the period for Hunter Jones. Shots are 26-21 in favor of us. And it's a 3-3 game. Can we win this game in the third period here, boys? Power play opportunity. We don't convert. Penalty kill, and they score. Damn it. I don't know what the problem is with this team. Do you guys know? Because legit, and no, anything I do kind of does not really work out. We're down 4-3. Can we please tie this game up? Yes, we can. Farinacci. Good job, Farinacci. We don't want to go down 0-3. Final few minutes of this third period, and we are in fact going to an overtime here in Game 3 on home ice. The shots are 32-31 in favor of us. It's a 4-4 game. Who wants to be that hero for us? We have not seen Shelley score so far in this playoffs. We've seen Farinacci score a couple times, so that top line is producing pretty well at the moment. Maybe Agostino. I don't know. I haven't seen Agostino score, I don't think, so far. Let's see what happens in overtime. See if we could get back in this series. Come on, boys. And no, we cannot. Appleton scores. And we're down 0-3 to the Ducks. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what the problem is with this team. We just cannot play good in the playoffs anymore since that Stanley Cup Finals against Ottawa. I mean, our offense was better in that game, but our defense still was not great. Farinacci and Shelley. Okay. Chikrin and Agostino Soderstrom. Farinacci, Shishkinov, and Gallagher. And Lawrence, Sadikov, and Heinola. Yeah, let's take a look at that plus-minus stats. I might have to make some drastic changes here. -3 from our rookie defenseman in Sasaki, and -3 from Tukinen. They have a +5 chemistry boost, but apparently that does not matter at all. And it's terrible stats from Jones. So I got to change up that top 6 pairing. Because Sasaki's not having a good time in his rookie playoffs. MCL spring for Nisimov. That's not good in the minors. But it is what it is. At least that HL team is pretty yoked. But are they doing good? No, they aren't. Did they get swept? Looks like they're about to get swept. I think. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we need to make some random adjustments. So we are going to move Genther down. Maybe. I really don't know what to do with this team. Kernkovic down. We're going to get rid of the Sasaki pairing because it's been terrible. We could try that. I don't really want to put Soderstrom down though. I'm going to move Soderstrom to the top unit even though that gives it a -2. I think. Yeah, we're going to do something like that. Just to get at least a +5 in there. And so far, Pettersson's been the better of the two. So I guess we'll go back to Pettersson even though Pettersson's been terrible. And LaRose I'm going to get back in the lineup. Shishkov's going to get taken back out. Yeah, I'm not really sold on this team. I don't know why they're so bad. Like, look at it on paper. They look really good. But it doesn't seem like we have the right coaching staff still or what, but we always struggle in the playoffs. What can we do to get this going? Soderstrom is better than Chikrin, so we could try and move something like that going. Yeah, let's try something random. I honestly really don't know what the problem is. Yeah, okay, we'll go with something like that. So let's try that out and see if that helps out our team. If it doesn't, we are going to be packing our bags in round 1 again, and I'm going to look like a terrible general manager, but I think I've been doing a good job with this team. It's just the game's not giving me a Stanley Cup. Because technically we could have won against Ottawa, but that team lost, and then since then they've just never been the same. But anyways, let's get into game number 4 and see if we could start our road to a reverse sweep, which would be amazing, but I really don't think it's going to happen. So let's do a real-time simulation for this game, considering we are on the brink of elimination, as Fiala opens the scoring early in the game. That's not good. Oh, Lawrence ties the game up. Good job, Lawrence. He's been okay in this first round, but we need to be a better defensive team, it seems like. Like, we're missing somebody like a Boone Jenner type of idea, because Boone Jenner was really good defensively when we had him, but it seems like we're more offensively minded than defensive. So we might need more two-way forwards and grinders in that bottom 6. I don't really know, because maybe Sadikov being a sniper down there is kind of hurting it a little bit. Shots are 11-7 after 1. It's a 1-1 game. Let's see what happens in the second period, see if we can get the lead back. Come on, boys. I need Shelly to wake up. He hasn't scored yet, I don't think. He's been picking up assists, and Zegers makes it 2-1. Lawrence ties it up again. So yeah, Lawrence is having a good playoffs, but I really don't know who else is. Agostino gets the power play goal, so that's really good to see that top unit get a power play goal again. So our power play has been okay in this first round, but forward-wise hasn't been great. LaRose makes it 4-2, so we might end up winning one game at least in the series, but I'm still not sold on this team. Shots are 21-20. We're up 4-2. We have 3 straight goals. Let's just lock this one down. And then we need to win 3 more in a row, which is going to be probably pretty tough. But you never know. Random shit happens in these games. Trigger makes it 4-3. That's not good. Penalty kill. They tied up, of course. Oh. And then they take the lead. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We're down 5-4. Can we tie this game up, or are we getting swept? We are getting swept because of a bad third period. This team is legit jinxed, and I don't know what the problem is. I addressed our team a little bit. We got rid of Zadina. We brought in Kernkovic. And also a lot of the younger guys jumping into our lineup is good. But I don't know if it's just because of the statistical growth or something like that. Because technically Shelly's more of a third liner, but we've been using him as a top 6 forward. So technically maybe he's not as good as he looks. I don't really know. But that was a terrible third period. We were up literally. We had a chance to take a game into series. We were up 4-1, or not 4-1, 3-1. Wait, yeah, 4-1. They scored 3 goals. Actually, no, we were up 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. They scored 3 goals and win the game. Another first round exit for this team that seems to be doomed. Lawrence from Farinacci and Chikrin, Lawrence from Chikrin and Sadikov, Agostino from Shelly and Farinacci, and LaRose from McGill's and Gallagher. And in their top 9 or the top 6. Helped out a lot. Oh, that's not good. Lawrence was still first star, but it doesn't matter because we just got swept again. Couple -1's not bad, but yeah, goaltending has been an issue. Goaltending has definitely been an issue. We just can't find that goalie to play good in the playoffs. And yeah, we get swept in 4 games. And we allowed a lot of goals. We literally allowed 19 goals in 4 games. So this team absolutely got pooped on by a team that was apparently worse offensively than us during the regular season. So I don't understand that at all. Let's take a look at our player stats, even though it does not really matter. And then we'll continue to simulate up until the draft. But Farinacci, 4 points in 4 games. Pretty solid, but -1. Hayton was terrible. He's probably not coming back this offseason. 1 assist in 4 games. -5 as well. Geeky had nothing, +2, but no points. Lawrence was good, 3 goals in 4 games. Agostino was okay, but -4. LaRose had 2 points. McGill's 2 points. Shishkinov had 1 point in 1 game. Genther was quiet as shit too, and his contract comes to an end this offseason. -4. I don't know if he comes back. Kyle Kernkovic was quiet since bringing him in via trade. I don't know if we gave up too much now, because we gave up a solid defensive prospect and a second for next year. Gallagher was good, but a -4. Sadikov was quiet in terms of goals, and same with Shelley. Shelley is literally turning out to be the biggest bust in a long time. Like, he started off so good in his career, and he's legit been terrible the last 4 years. He has 4 goals now in his last 21 playoff games. Before that, he had 10 goals in 21 playoff games. And then in the regular season, his offense is going down as well. I really don't know what the problem is. I know he doesn't really work that well with this coach, but we might have to find another coach this offseason. Sadikov also really starting to be quiet, even though he's a good fit with this coach. So something is wrong with this team, and I don't know what. Chikrin was point per game, but -3. Soderstrom was really quiet after having 60 points in the regular season. Heinola was quiet. Tugan and Sasaki were both really badly minus. And same with Dobson. And then goaltending was terrible. What is this goaltending? You think a team that won 47 games in the regular season and both goalies had like 9-12s, like we were one of the best defensive teams, weren't we? But apparently they both almost had a 5 goals against average. Oh my goodness, like at least Jones got us to OT, but both had terrible save percentages and goals against. We allowed 19 goals on like over 120 shots. I don't even really know. Oh, Pettersson is turning out to be the worst playoff goalie I've ever seen too. Like an 888 and a 3.58. Yikes. His contract also comes to an end, but he's an RFA, so we could technically keep him around, but I really don't know what the problem is with this team. What do you guys think is the problem with this team right now? Is it like depth scoring? Is it because we have too many snipers or something? Because we got Farinacci, Sadikov, Shelley technically. Like, what do we really need to do with this team to make them a good team? Because we have a lot of guys that could definitely jump up into the NHL from the AHL this next season. But I don't really know if it's going to make us a better team or not. Like, we might have to look for a new coach, like I said. I am not impressed with this team at all. Like, let's take a look at our team stats before we simulate, just because I want to see how bad we simulated. So, yeah, 2.5 goals per game is not terrible, but it's not great either. 4.75 goals against. 20% on the power play, so that was good. Penalty kill was terrible. 54.5%. And, yeah, obviously we didn't win a single game. So our penalty kill all of a sudden shot the bed, and then our team just did not play good defensively. Oh, another first round exit. I think that's 4 in a row now, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Let's sim up to the awards and all that. Find out who wins the Stanley Cup and all that, where we're drafting. We have a lot of picks in this year's draft, but we could always try and move them out to get better players and stuff like that, so I don't really know. Of course, our AHL team's not going to win a Calder Cup as well, even though that team was stacked. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup before us, which is a big slap in the face, and Bridgeport wins the AHL. Let's take a look at the awards. Not that it matters, because we probably don't have anything. Actually, I'll take a look at the playoff tree first. So, it was Toronto against Calgary, so a Battle of Canada. Interesting. How far did Anaheim get? They got to the second round before being out in 7 games. Awards for this season. So Toronto wins the Stanley Cup. Detroit won the President's Trophy. Calgary, Toronto Stanley Cup Finals. Art Ross goes to Sebastian Aho, and the Hart also goes to Aho. Boquist wins the Norris. Not a surprise because of that plus-minus. McKinnon wins the Bing. Avery wins the Calder. Really good rookie there in Detroit. Nylander wins the Conn Smythe in Toronto. Genoway wins the Vezina. Bjorklund wins the Jennings. Ball wins the Masterton. Peltier for Seattle Kraken wins the Jack Adams. Shane Wright wins the Selke. Aho, whatever you want to say, wins the Lindsay. And Gauthier Leduc and Estrada are going to share the Richard. AHL-wise, any awards down there for us? Ortmeyer won the Eddie Shore as the best defenseman in the minors. That's kind of cool. But that is actually, Wallstead actually won an award as well for the best goaltenders. Him and Hornquist. Not too bad. I hope Hornquist could get into our NHL team next year. I'm not too sure if he will. Okay, so that is that. More than likely, we let go of Volstead this season as well because of the fact that we do have Galiev, who I'd like to sign for the AHL. So let's continue to sim up to the draft. So Edmonton has the first overall pick. They went from 9 to 1, so call that rigged. Edmonton wins another draft lottery. San Jose with number 2, Washington number 3, Vegas 4, and Philadelphia number 5. And the retired players for this season, I don't think we lost anybody, but Bergeron retires in Montreal. Interesting. Kucherov retires, Sagan. Some pretty big names, as you would expect. Best goalie to retire this year is Binnington. Also Jack Campbell up there. Korpisalo. And pretty much that's it. I don't think we have any retirements. Yeah, we don't. Not a surprise. Coaching wise, did we lose anybody in the minors? No, we did not. Okay. Continue to simulate, and let's take a look at that draft class, and then we'll also take a look at our contract situation, progress reports, and then that'll be it for this episode. But I am really bummed out with this team because I really like this series, how it's going so far with the young movement with in terms of our prospects and stuff. But to like not win a first round in 4 years is kind of a slap in the face. There is a lot of Scandinavian people in this draft. What the heck? Korpikari, there's also all these Swedes, and there's a Danish player. Damn. Scandinavian representatives. We are drafting probably... Where are we drafting? Probably like 25, right? Got to take a look first where we're drafting. But we have a ton of picks, just so you guys know, so we could make some changes. We could move up in the draft, all that type of stuff. Because we have 2 seconds, we have 1 first, we have 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, a 6th, and 2 7th round picks. So we literally have 2 picks in every round except for the 1st and the 6th. So we could try and move up. According to this draft board thing, which is kind of interesting, we actually have a weakness in top 6 forwards, top 9 forwards. So our team, even though it looks good on paper, might not actually be as good as it says. It could be because of the statistical. Shelley's dropped down to an 83. So yeah, our team might not actually be as good as we look because of all the statistical growth that we've had. Redmond technically should be in the NHL next season. We have a good defensive core, but that's pretty much it. And good goaltending, apparently. Even though the playoffs, they don't do anything at all. So we might need to address our forward core more. Because maybe our team is just more statistical based. But where were we drafting? Because I didn't actually look at that fully. We are at 22. Okay. Let's see what there is around number 22. And then, like I said, we'll take a look at the progress reports and contract situation. So, number 22, we could get Nick Anderson, who's a defenseman, probably top 4. Quinton McEachran, who's also probably a top 4 defenseman. Leonardo Allison, who's also probably top 4. This Giordano dude. It looks decent. What else we got here? Matthias Backer, we don't know much about him. Scout recommends one of these 3. And the Leonard Witherspoon, who looks pretty good, so I think he might end up being our pick. He's 2 years out. He's 20 years old, though, which is kind of interesting to see a 20-year-old going in the first round. I don't think I've ever seen that much of a jump up for a 20-year-old. Might be an interesting piece to get. Might be a top 6 forward that's like 75, though, so it might not be that great. Looks like a bunch of top 9s as well. Interesting. Let's take a look at any steals, potentially. Medium only goaltender and Goldman. Might be okay to just grab more goalies. I don't really know. Because we have not found that one goalie to be good for us. There's a gem, apparently. It looks pretty good. And he's another 20-year-old supposed to go in round 2. We'll pin him. Because why not? Any low elites? Because we definitely could use some more low elites. Callie Olesen, 17 years of age. Might be a low elite. I don't really know. Hugo St. Denis. I don't really know. Justin Wilsey. Doesn't really look like much low elites this year. Let's take a look at those progress reports. So yeah, most of this growth and stuff like that seems to be statistical, and our forward core isn't as good as it seems. Like Shelley's an 83. He's the 3rd line checking forward. And he's now making like $7 million. Like, look at all that statistical growth. So Shelley's nowhere near as good as it seems. I'm kind of getting bummed out by Shelley now. I thought this guy was going to be our best goal scorer of all time, but he's kind of dwindling. I still like him, but I'm kind of mad at him. Agostino still is probably, like I said, the best player in the series. Tukinen getting some growth as well statistically. Sasaki, is that statistical? Nope, some of it's natural to his poise and fighting skill. After 4 fights, not a surprise. And a lot of other guys not getting growth like Shishkinov. How about in the system? A lot of growth. That is good. Let's sort of test by overall wise. Guerrero should technically be in the lineup maybe next season. Replace Heinola with him. Technically Redmond should be as well. Both of them getting a lot of natural. DeMaio's not really getting much growth, so I don't know if trading away Ladipov was the right move. And then Blykov's not really getting much growth. Hornquist is getting a lot of growth still. Hornquist could be an NHL goalie soon. Which is pretty impressive considering he was a 7th rounder. But not a huge amount of growth in minors. Galiev technically should be in the AHL next year, so we probably will let go of Wallstedt in the offseason. So that's pretty much that, and let's take a look at our contract situation, and then that'll be it for this episode. But the big one is Soderstrom. He's got a lot of statistical growth. He's up to an 88. He wants a lot of money, 8x9, which is kind of expensive considering statistical. Geeky, obviously, we could get back because he's an RFA. He's really cheap, too. Barrett Hayton, I don't know if he's going to come back. He wants 6.8. I don't know if Genther comes back. He wants 5. Kernkovic, I don't know if he's going to come back. He wants 5, apparently. Dobson wants 5. A lot of guys might leave this team this offseason. This team might go through a little bit of a rebuild. LaRose wants 3, so he might be okay to come back. I don't think Heinola comes back, to be honest. Gallagher and all the rest of the RFAs definitely will come back. Except for, well, actually, Guineen's a UFA. But Guineen's probably going to get replaced by Guerrero, I would assume. So that's pretty much that. There's also a lot of low elites that are going to be signing for the AHL team, which is kind of good. So we will have some more players in the system like McIntyre and Kagorodov. But yeah, what is Pedersen wanting? Imagine wanting $8 million after that playoff performance. And I imagine wanting $12 million for 8 years. Like, Pedersen's good overall wise, but he's terrible. And Jones, what do you want? $2 million? He might come back as a backup, I don't really know. And then, yeah, Wallsted's probably gone. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So once again, sucks that we had another first-round exit. So in next episode, we'll probably have to make some big changes to this team. We might let go of some big players, depending on what you guys think. But this team is really not as good as it seems, apparently, in terms of offense. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.